Well, hello, everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to Fridays with Sandy. That would be Sandy Kreisberg, founder of HBSGuru.com. There he is in Boston.
Happy Passover, happy Easter, shalom. Hello,
Indeed.
everybody.
We have a candidate in Georgia, Athens, Georgia, to be specific. He is a senior at the University of Georgia. He's majoring in management information systems. You look at his resume and you say, wow, he's done internships at Coca-Cola, BlackRock, Citi, and CNBC. He's got a 3.39 GPA, a 700 GMAT. He has a job waiting for him at Deloitte as a strategy consultant. And so we're talking about deferred admission. And his two programs are Columbia Business School and Harvard Business School. Now, what do you think, Sandy?
It's all great. The only boo-boo is the 3.39 GPA, which is lower than most of the schools you're dreaming of have. In fact, it's real low. So you've got to be able to explain that. So Cameron, what's your explanation for that?
Yeah, so my explanation is that throughout college, I've supported myself 100%. And so I've spent a lot of hours working every semester. And so I've had some trouble trying to juggle both the academic side, extracurriculars, and also just my regular day-to-day sustenance. But I'm trying to curb that with using my letter of recommendation to talk about some of my quantitative side skills, because that's kind of where some of my grades are lacking if you go through my transcript.
That's pretty good. What was the quant part of the GMAT?
So I don't remember off the top of my head.
47?
I think you had it here. Yeah, 47.
39 on the verbal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on my transcript, some of the lower grades are in like some higher level economics classes that I've taken. And so I'm planning on retaking the GMAT towards the end of the month.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
We got a 700 GMAT. That's in the words of our beloved leader, D. Leopold. She once said, we don't care what your GMAT is, as long as it starts with a 7. I don't entirely believe that. I think if you could focus on the quant part and get that to like 720 or 730, and that often happens just as a factor of taking it twice. That could help you with scholarship. That could help you with admission. Okay, let me tell you that you're a 2+2 guy. Let me give you the good news, okay? No matter what you do with 2+2, you're going to be a successful applicant. If you don't get in 2+2, you're going to be a successful regular applicant. You're working for Deloitte. Deloitte is a very good feeder firm, particularly for underrepresented minorities. You've got a powerful story. Strategy consultant at Deloitte. Is strategy consultant, is that a track there? Yeah, so that's like an elite track.
Yeah, it's kind of more on the more selective side. There's only like 40 of us in the New York office out of the entire like HQ, so I guess it'll be a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's an elite part of Deloitte. So you're going to be real solid in 2 or 3 years when you decide, if it comes to applying through the regular channel. 2+2 is very, very hard. These stats, well, let's just deal with what we got. The 339 and the 700, you ain't getting into Harvard, even with all the powerful stuff you have going for you. I don't think you're getting into 2+2 with that. What do you think, John? You think there's enough here?
If you can get 30 points on the GMAT, would it make a big difference? I think it would make a big difference. And he's a STEM grad. That's a good thing.
Yeah, 30 points on the GMAT. an explanation about the 3.39 GPA and all the other great stuff here. Powerful internships. Who's writing your recommendations, Cameron?
So my letter of recommendation for Columbia is going to be my current manager at CNBC. She's also a Columbia alum. It's kind of similar path to me. And then she'll be doing my Harvard one plus another internship manager.
Mhm.
Okay, well, if they can talk about, in addition to your overall skills, the quant work you've done there and your ability to do that, that can help.
Yeah, my current internship, all I kind of do is data analysis and just chugging through numbers and stuff. And so that's my hope is that that could speak for something.
Yeah, it can, but don't say that's all you do.
Yeah.
You say a good part of what I do is data analysis, along with many other
Now we
powerful
also should
general
point out Cameron's extras. He's the founder of a small film production company. He's the vice president of his business fraternity. He's a student ambassador for his college, and he's an executive member of a women's focused organization. The fact that you're a founder of a small film production company and you produced a film that actually made money, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's a positive.
Yeah, where can we see this? Can I get this on Netflix? What's the name of the movie?
Oh, yeah, so it's a short film titled Vagrant Vanguard. And
sorry, what's the title?
Vagrant Vanguard. It's some weird art. It's kind of a weird art housey type experimental thriller. But it's not being distributed widely yet because we're kind of submitting it right now to film festivals. And so we can't distribute it openly before.
Yeah, okay. As I told you in our pre-talk here, you got to get that on your resume. That really, you know, a lot of people say they're film producers. It's a famous line on Match.com.
Yeah. So when Sundance accepts your film, you want that on your resume.
Yeah, for sure. That's the goal.
I mean, the fact you've completed it.
It's
good.
It's tangible evidence that you've actually done something as opposed to just put a line on your resume.
Yeah, good.
Hey, why management information systems? That's interesting to me.
Yeah, so it's
choose that as a major.
Yeah, so it's technically housed under our business school, but it's still kind of a STEM-ish degree. And the reason why I was attracted to it was, and there's a mandatory intro class, intro to MIS, that we all have to take. And the reason why I picked this as a major is I viewed it as it gave me a toolkit of transferable skills that I could take to any industry rather than putting me into a box of like marketing and going into a marketing career. With MIS, I've seen people go into all sorts of careers, and it kind of put the pressure off of me to have to pick one specific thing.
Huh. I like that answer. What do you think, Sandy?
Yeah, that's an acceptable answer. They're more interested in, admissions offices are more interested in how you did than why you did it.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like I said, the GPA is the boo-boo here.
I do have a little bit more information about that. So on my MIS classes, I have pretty much straight A's. The lower grades are in some upper division electives and more difficult econ classes that I took in order to try and challenge myself, and kind of didn't pay off in the end. But so it's all still technically business classes. It's just not technically MIS classes.
Okay.
So in your major, your GPA is a lot higher.
Yes, my MIS classes, I have always in like a B or 2.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah, the people often break that out on a resume as GPA, major, that, and then a lot of applications give you 500 words to say what you know, you want to explain anything, and you should say, yeah, I'd like to address my GPA, which is, and then the standard line is, which is not predictive of my performance at your business school. It was, I did this, blah, 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 did that, blah, 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 made it, blah, 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 blah. It's worth saying. They like
the other,
that.
yeah, the other thing, Sandy, is Cameron's goals. Why don't you tell us what your goals are post MBA?
Yeah, so immediately post MBA, I want to go into content strategy and acquisition at a streaming company like Hulu and Netflix, learning more on the deals and licensing side of business or of entertainment, and then opening up my own film production company once I feel ready.
Sandy, what do you think of those goals?
Well, starting a film production company is an ambitious goal. It's one of those things where there's a thousand side doors and no front door.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, the front door is it's what your parents do. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the front door. So there's like 1,000 side doors. So what you're doing is as good as anything. What you really have to do is hustle
Yeah.
and raise money.
In my essays, I'm kind of focusing more on the immediate goal of the content strategy and acquisition because I've talked to some other MBA students right now, and they've said that having that MBA is kind of like the most important thing to get that type of role. And so in my application, I'm going to frame it more as immediately post MBA, do content strategy with the hopes of being able to use the alumni network and other things that I've taken in order to start my own business eventually.
So,
So Sandy,
here's a question I ask everybody,
Mhm.
and every week, and no one has answered it yet. Maybe you can help us here, Cameron. Name some. What's the question, John? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, name someone whose job you want in 30
Oh,
years.
of course, of course.
I'd love to have Dede Gardner's job. She is the president of Plan B Entertainment, and they've made films like Moonlight, 12 Years a Slave, Selma. They've told some really cool stories.
Yeah, that's a great answer. You could start your essay with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or it's just a good way to just nail it, as to what you want to do. It explains everything. What the job is, what the approach is, what the kind of product you want to put out. So that's good. And good for having that answer. You got any other business heroes?
Yeah, so can't think of their names off the top of my head, but the creators and founders of A24 Productions did a kind of a similar path that I want to do. One person was in the creative production side, and he found two entertainment finance people to start their own company together. And so they had the creative side and the business side.
Yeah.
And combine those.
Okay, that's another great example. Just locate those people and mention those as, examples I want to follow are the women you mentioned and these guys and who have done this, and this, and it becomes crystal clear. It also becomes clear you're not dreaming.
Yeah.
A lot of people, say they want to be Steven Spielberg. All right, maybe you do, but.
So Sandy, let's say Cameron gets into Columbia and Harvard 2+2 turns him down. Does he accept the Columbia offer? And then before he actually goes, does he reapply to Harvard, or can he do that?
He can do it. It's not against the laws of the United States of America. Okay. And that would be a welcome to Hollywood, because that's we're talking Hollywood ethics. Hollywood would say, of course you can do it.
But Hollywood ethics, that's like that's in quotation marks, right? So that's not real ethics.
Yeah, the ethics part's in quotation marks, right?
Yeah.
But in the academically, and let me say, I'm sure it has happened. Okay?
Oh yeah, you got to know it's happened. Yeah.
So it's happened. So then the question for you, Cameron, is the question for you at that point would be, do I want to follow? Am I a Hollywood guy or an academic guy? In terms of the way I'm leading my life.
I've kind of thought about that scenario already, in my way of approaching it is, well, I'll deal with it if I get to it.
That's a good way to approach it. Yeah, you'll burn that bridge Yeah, when you get there, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to retake the GMAT. Hopefully, you get a bigger score that will help offset the lower GPA. But at the same time, you have a very good explanation for why your grades weren't higher, given the fact that you had to self-finance yourself and that you got very involved in extracurriculars, and were passionate about them, that kind of thing. I think that that's a good argument to make. And the fact that your GPA is not reflective or predictive of your academic ability is an important point to make.
I've also, I don't know if this also counts for anything. I've seen certain other people have gotten into 2+2 in Stanford, and they've gotten in with like 620s, but with higher GPAs. And so I don't know if I could somehow even out that gap a little bit by just getting a slightly higher GMAT score.
Let me just put a thumbtack on that. You actually know people who've been admitted to the Stanford 2+2 program with a 620 GMAT.
I've seen one 620 and like one maybe 680.
What do you think the explanation of the 620 is? You got me really interested.
I think the 620 person was an international student from somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa. So maybe them being international helped a little bit of, this is from a country that they probably never had before. But then
Stanford has, yeah, it's targeted Africa as a core recruiting placement for its students, making the bet that, over the next quarter of a century, Africa is going to emerge as a.
Yeah, Stanford loves Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
But then the 680
2+2 applicant from sub-Saharan Africa, did that person's parents a tribal royalty or something?
I have no idea about that, but they had a compelling story and all of that. So I'm pretty sure there were other things. But then the 680 that I saw that got in also, they were American. So.
Yeah. And again, while standardized test scores and GPA are very important and weighed very heavily in admission decisions, there is a holistic review in general, and an admissions person can find something interesting here, despite the
yeah, I agree with you, John.
Just don't know.
Just with you're telling me with a 620 GMAT, I would have said you really something's got to be really, really interesting, like coming from an African country that has never sent a student to that school before.
Yeah. That's got to be a magical story.
It's got to be something really extraordinary.
Oh no, I read their essay and it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what'd they say? What was
they talked about how they come from a very anti-LGBTQ country, and they started their first ever Pride Alliance at their college, on top of like going to some amazing company and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a very good Stanford.
Totally.
Coming from an anti-LGBT country, okay?
Yeah.
Not a high school, a country.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very powerful for Stanford. Great. Okay, let me give you your odds here. I think, boy, let's just say you don't get the GMAT raised, okay? Just dealing with the 339 and the 700. I think HBS likes guys like you. And then the question is, 2+2 is additionally a little harder. So I think your chances, let me say this, I think your chances of getting interviewed for the 2+2 program at HBS are sort of 40 to 50%. And at Columbia, I think that, boy, if you can convince Columbia why you want to go there, okay? Because Columbia looks at a guy like you and they say, man, he's using us as a safety. I'm not kidding. They care about that. They care about their yield. So my suggestion to you at Columbia would be to really convince them and it seems to be true. Why you want New York and why you want Columbia.
Mhm.
If you could do that, boy, you should get into that place. Maybe even 2+2. And then you may have to face the Hollywood dilemma that John mentioned.
If you choose.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago,
If
pal.
and if
The whole
our
world has
government
changed.
now. Yeah. And then again, if this doesn't happen right now for you, you know, I think you should include a broader range of schools. Given your interest, I would put UCLA on your map,
Mhm.
for sure. So it's just that it's such an entertainment mecca, and your tribe would definitely be there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you again. Great to see you, Sandy. And Cameron, good luck to you. This
Yeah,
is
thank you
John.
guys so much.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
John from Poets and Quants. You've been watching Fridays with Sandy.